Hey, welcome back. We're going to get ready to start week 3, which is the last week of September, because we're now in the 3-week months. And so let's do our weekly SO points here. So here you can see we have 6 SO points. We get 15 a week. So that puts us to 21. We need to spend 12 as part of our secondary mission. So we're going to take 12 for that. One of our recon planes got destroyed, and so we want to get the Gucci one. That's going to cost 8 points, so that's 20. So I'm going to do that. So we're down to just 1 SO point remaining for the week. So that's not going to bode well for destroying factories, because obviously the factories could benefit from those bombs that cost some SO points that do a little bit extra damage. But I think we might still be okay. We can go after 2 more factories. There was a couple other things I forgot to do before I said goodbye in the last video. We got to give ourselves 1 experience point on the individual bomber variant, and then we need to draw another airfield. So remember, the German ones don't count. I love, and I said this before, but I love how I don't have to look at AF02 all the time. I can just see the flag and know that it's in this campaign. So we got our next one up, and just put the German ones aside. Okay, so we spent our SO points. Let's do weather. So we're going to start with the UK first. I rolled a 5, plus 1 is 6 to partly cloudy, which is fine. The only thing about the UK base that matters is if you have stormy weather, there's the one type of weather where the stormy weather you can't take off at all, and then the very cloudy is going to potentially cause planes to get lost at the rendezvous. So let's go to zone 1. I rolled a 3 for that one. Ooh, that's that's just partly cloudy. We're okay. And then zone 2, that one's a 6, which is going to be partly cloudy. So I'll take that away. And I'm realizing this one's not as easy to read for you guys, so I'll just set it aside. And then let's do zone 3. I rolled a 3 for that one, which is still partly cloudy. I mean, you really have to roll 1 or a 2 to get hosed, and we've rolled it so many times in this game. Partly cloudy is just base game rules, so there's no advantage, no disadvantage. It's as if you weren't playing with the variant at all, so very good there. We get to select targets to attack, but we get to send out our recon. So this is a big time decision here. Do we want to try to take out the 2 factories before the end of the week? I'm thinking I want to. This one is going to take 14 damage, and that one's going to take 13 damage. That's a lot of damage you got to do to those factories. This one gets a +2. This one only gets a +1. They're both. This one's just in hex 11, which is range 1. This is in hex 9. We could theoretically have no interference from Luftwaffe squadrons. Let's try to do it. So I'm going to do a recon. Red is for this one, blue is for that one. They're both the advanced recon now. I got a 3 and a 10. The 3 is not enough, so this one's going to be low intel. And then we're going to roll for what kind of low intel. I rolled a 9. I think that's a bad roll. The lower number would have been better. So -2 air to ground, +1 flak. For that one. That's not good. It's here somewhere. So the high and the mediums. So -2 air to ground. And then +1 flak. That's a bad outcome. So this is where the intel is really going to hurt us. I'm not sure I was supposed to know the penalty until we decide that that's the mission we're going to do. So I think we have to do the mission now. We could have decided to just go after an airfield because airfields we've been decimating. And even if we had penalties like this on airfields, we can handle that. But that one is now this one has become a major problem. Okay, so the other one, we rolled a perfect 10. So with a perfect 10, it's going to be a high intel target. So we now have +2 air to ground and -2 flak on that target. And it's already got a +2 there as well. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to send our bombers that can carry more bombs to this target. And that's going to include Paradise Lost, which tends to get a nice plus bonus to his dice rolls. This -2 air to ground is going to stink big time. But there's nothing we can do. We'll bring the incendiary and hope that that helps. Beyond that, yeah, let's do this. Okay, so we arm our bombers. I'm going to arm them all with regular bombs. I'm going to do the B-24s just like before. Little Abner is going to carry 1 incendiary, but everybody's going to have the zero cost M30s. I don't think there's anything that only, well, there is one. There's this there is one type of bomb that only costs 1 SO point, because that's what I have left. I have just 1 SO point. So I could try to do this one instead. If I did, what would I give it to? I would give it to maybe Paradise Lost. You know what? I'll do that. So Paradise Lost is going to carry this one and then 2 of the normal ones. Okay? So we're now at 0 SO points. So I'm just making that adjustment. So we spent our very last one on that. Let's do the stressful one first. It's only range 1, and that means it's here. If you can see the target, the target's right here. So there's going to be, I'm going to roll for the Luftwaffe response, but it's going to be nothing. I roll a 1. It's even more than nothing. So we're going to, it's just bing. We're going to fly there and back, and then the escort's going to come along because he likes to eat nachos. So we're going to go ahead and do that mission. We're going to have to do the flak roll, and they're going to get a +1 to their roll, which is going to hurt. The other part that hurts is we don't have a durability on our B-24s, so they could potentially take extra damage. The Paradise Lost will cancel and negate the +1 because it has a 1 durability. But that's, and then one of our Death Dealer does have this guy. So we do reduce to flak by 1. So Death Dealer is going to cancel as well. All right, so we're going to do red, white, and blue. So Death Dealer is the white. We're going to do the flak response right now. Red, white, and blue. Red, of course, is Paradise Lost. So he's going to reduce, he ignores the +1 flak. Death Dealer has the leader, Al-Kari, who also ignores the +1 flak, but blue does not. So here we go. All right, so red is going to be a 6. White and blue don't take any damage. So Paradise Lost does take 1 damage. And so we're up to -4 now. And then we have to roll to see if it's going to impact our individual bomber. Remember, a 9 or a 10 is the only thing that hurts us. And I rolled a 2. So we're okay there. Okay, so, we had to draw an event card. Sorry about that. Oh, add +3 damage points to the target. Sweet. Yes, yes, yes. What a perfect time to draw that card. Holy buckets. Okay, so that was wonderful. And, oh, what am I thinking? I think it's time to unleash the Kraken. So let's do Death Dealer first. Death Dealer gets a +0 for his abilities. We get a +1 here and a -2 there, so it's a net of -1 to his rolls. That's not good. Death Dealer does get to roll 4 dice because he's dropping 4 bombs. We need an 8 to hit just once, and he's getting a -1 to his rolls. So this is a very bad situation. Oh, I just noticed something. End of the week. See this guy right here? He has 1 repair. So this -2 became a -1 at the end of the last week. He repairs once a week. Okay. All right, so I basically need to roll 9s. And if I roll a 10, it's still just going to be 1 hit, because with the -1 air-to-ground penalty... Oh, this is awful. What was I thinking? Oh, look at this. I rolled really well, too, if it was just anybody else. I rolled a 7, an 8, a 7, and a 6, and those are all 4 misses. So that's not good. Okay, so now we're going to go to Little Abner. Little Abner gets a +1, and then this +1 negates that. So it's just pure dice rolls. Little Abner is going to roll 3 dice for bombs, and then this one is going to be the incendiary, which needs a 7 to hit. The other ones need an 8. All right, so miss, a miss, and a miss. I rolled 3 4s, but the incendiary hits. So can we really ride the incendiary train for this long? I have no idea. All right, so now we're on Paradise Lost. Oh, we need to roll to see where our location is in the group. I rolled a 9. Ooh. We subtract 1 because we're green, although I forgot to check the box. We subtract 1 because we're green, so it goes to an 8. We're in the rear, and in the rear, we're going to get 2 experience points for this mission. So that's pretty nice. Okay, we have 2. We have 2 that are the regular 8 bomb. And then this one, the white one, is going to be this MK43. All right, I'm going to just set this one aside. So what's our bonus? We get a +4 because of our bomber abilities. And then this makes it +5. The target itself makes it +5, and that subtracts 2. So we got a +3. So we do have a chance. Just like Dumb and Dumber. We have a chance. So you're saying we have a chance. These 2 need an 8 to do 1 damage. We get a +3. So we just need at least a 5. It's a 50% chance. This one just needs a 5 to do 1 damage. And with a +3, I like our odds. Okay? Don't tell me the odds, kid. Okay, so here we go. All right, so 2 + 3 is 5. That's a miss. 4 + 3 is 7. That's a miss. And then 8 + 3, that would have been a hit even with the regular bomb. But because it was our special bomb, it does do 2 hits. So it was a complete waste all around to buy that bomb. But we did do 2 hits, so now we're up to 5. And unfortunately, 5 damage is not enough to even get to medium. It's considered to be light damage. So even though we did 5, we didn't make it to the 7 necessary for a medium. So we now have a light damage factory. And then I'm going to roll for the incendiary. And we rolled a 5, which did succeed for 1 notch. So that light became a medium, wherever the medium is. So the light became a medium, and we do reduce the supply in half. So it now becomes a 1. So we at least had a moral victory there, and did do some on it. It was the low intel. The low intel is what hurt us. If we didn't have that -2 penalty, I think we really would have tore into that one. However, that is what it is. It's a medium damage. On a 6 or better, it's going to repair at the end of the week, but we at least damaged it partially. So now let's go to this one. And we didn't destroy our targets. That means we only get 1 experience point for our mission. That also hurts. So the 4th fighter group is going to get 1 experience point. So that puts us to 3, and he needs 5. So, no, I'm sorry, that puts us to 4, and he needs 5. So I'm going to cross this one out and put another one. There's one that was sort of sneaky, and I couldn't see it. Okay, so then Death Dealer is going to get just 1 experience point. He needed 2. He has 2, 4, 5, 6. Oh no, Death Dealer just leveled up. Alright, so Death Dealer had 1 damage, but at the end of the week, that 1 damage is going to repair itself. If it wasn't for the card that gave us 3 damage, we would have been in even bigger trouble. Perform formation checks for all bomber groups each movement turn. This is for the way home. I forgot to do the way home part. It doesn't matter. Now, the reason why you have to do the formation checks is if you're dispersed, the enemy bandits get a +2 bonus against you when they're attacking you if you fail your formation check. Okay, so Death Dealer just leveled up. He is a average pilot, and so he's going to become skilled. So he just went from +2 air-to-air to +3 air-to-air, but not much else to write home about. But we'll still take it. He's now skilled. And where is he at here? Sorry, I'm just writing off camera. And then Paradise Lost gets 1 experience point. That's what stinks. You only get 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we got a long way to go. Okay. So the other thing that happens is our individual bomber gets 2 experience points instead of 1. So we're going to go up to 3. But I'm not even going to write the 2 experience points down because we're just going to level something up here. And I think what I'm going to do is let's just pick the port, and we're going to give it a +1. So I'll just do a +1 there. We have a +1 here and a +3 there. Okay, so we're just going to do port. I have no idea which is the most. I mean, you can see here the port side is a 4 or 5. The starboard is a 6 or 7. I think those are the 2 highest odds. 8+ would be the front. I mean, I guess we could. You know, if you're in the rear, you subtract 2 from the die roll. So the rear actually might end up becoming more common. So maybe we want to start bumping that one up. But anyways, let's go on. We are going to, yes, we're going to do the next mission. So now we're going to do these 3 guys. And they're going to Hex 9. And I'm going to roll the Luftwaffe response here. And I rolled a 10. Ooh, this might actually be something. So the 10, we subtract 2, and we get an 8. And we actually have a high Luftwaffe response. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So we have a high Luftwaffe response. So this now became a big deal. So we were going to fly there. And then the target is here. Okay, so we could go to 10 instead, but I think this is the better route. All right, well, we need to make sure our formations and stuff is really set up because this is actually a big deal. Okay, so these guys. So the 305th is going to be the lead bomber this time. They're all just taking regular, as far as the munitions, they're all going to take the regular 0-cost bombs. One of them will take an incendiary, whichever one has the best air to ground. And we're going to do the Grim Reaper. So he'll have 1 incendiary and only 2 of the regular bombs. Okay, this is a bigger deal. So with a high Luftwaffe response, These guys are all going to intercept. Everybody that's around. If I didn't get a high, I would have just gone in and went right out without anybody intercepting. But this is a big deal. Rolling a 10 was not good for us there. We do have an escort. We're going to have to worry about it taking some damage. The escort already has 3 damage to start, so that will be an issue. But let's get cracking. So let's draw our event card. We have to pay 3 SOs to select any 3 German squadrons and re-roll their map hexes. What that is like, let's say this is annoying. I can pay 3 SO points to say, okay, you, and you, I'm going to re-roll, and they could potentially end up somewhere else on the map, and then they won't be intercepting us for this mission. I don't have 3 SO points, so it's not even a... It's just a fantasy I can dream about, and that's about it. I don't think I would have spent it anyways. I think we're fine with things where they are. I'm not sure going after the factories was maybe the best option, but this particular factory, I'm very hopeful that as long as we don't get damaged on the way there, we should be able to take this sucker out. So I'm just shuffling the event deck right now while I'm talking to you. Okay, so we gotta move. That's the first thing. So our bomber group, I know we're the second bomber group. I never really do this, but we're gonna move here. And so then this Luftwaffe squadron, that's 1. This is 2, and this is 3. Okay, they're all gonna respond because they're all within range 1, and they're coming in. And this has a max of 5. So we're going to get 2 bandits that are going to be intercepted by our escort, and then the third one is actually going to go after one of our bombers. So we're going to get a lot of action here. Now, there always is a possibility of drawing a no bandit chit, but let's find out. So I'm drawing 3. 1, 2, and 3. I did draw a no bandit. So our bandit is going to just intercept both of them. Now, mind you, this is what you do if you're flying over the Luftwaffe squadron, but if they're coming in from range 1, you got to flip it over and use the top number. So you can see they can only fight for 1 turn. Here they would fight for 2 turns. Other than that, I think the stats are pretty much the same. The only thing that's changing is how many turns they can fight. So this one would do the front attack. But only if your German commander actually has the front attack tactic. And then this one is going to try to drop a bomb from above onto your bomber. This would happen if he was actually attacking our bomber, but because of our escort, he's going to have to deal with our escort first. Now, the other thing I wanted to point out is, let's say that we had 3 of them, and the escort's going to intercept 2. So then the question is well, which 2 does he intercept? And the answer to that is we get to choose which 2, but only if we roll a 5 or better, okay? So we're going to roll a die, we get a 5 or better, and then we get to choose the 2 that we're going to intercept. If you go low, you can see there that you actually get to choose on a 3 or better. So you get a much better chance of being able to choose if you fly low. But there you can see that there's a -1 air-to-air on the first attack. So obviously I like the air-to-air. Obviously if you're flying high, you ignore the out-of-sun tactic. And this particular German commander uses the out-of-the-sun tactic. So that's why you keep seeing me fly high, and I never even debate it. I want to cancel the out-of-the-sun tactic anytime it comes up. So that's what I'm trying to do. But there is some advantage to flying in low. You do get a penalty on the first attack. Okay, so both bandits are going to be up against him. We are not fast. So they're both going to get to attack first. The red one will be the FW-190, and the white one will be the BF-109. So let's roll. The FW-190 does 2 hits, and this one does nothing. Okay, so 2 hits on our Spitfire puts us up to 5 damage. We are at the limit. If we take 1 more damage, we will now be shaken. And then we're going to get to attack back now We can only pick one plane to attack. They're both only going to attack for 1 round. Okay, see how they have the 1 there? So I'm going to go for the easy one, right? This one has 1 armor, so he would subtract 1 from our die roll. So we're going to go for the easier one and see if we can get the easy kill. We're not going to get the easy kill. That's a 3. We add 5 to that, so we get to 8, but that's not enough. So both of these guys are going to fly away, and we don't get any experience points. All we did was take a lot of damage. Now, here's where our variant is going to hurt us, because we're going to get more intercepts as we fly to our next spot. So right here, 4 more are flying home, okay? That's what's happening. That's the variant that we're playing, the engagement. Okay, so I'm going to bring you back over to here. So this 5 plus 4 is now 9, and you can see we're now in shaken status, and we only get a +1 to our attacks. Okay, so if I take 1 more damage, he's out and has to fly home. I'm just realizing he has a -1 experience per level. Let me fix that. We just leveled him up and we spent full price. That was the 31st. So I'm just gonna give him another experience point. Okay, so we're in a pickle. He does not have, we can send him home. Now if we send him home, this is just a temporary thing. It's not real damage to the fighter. So he's really not shaken if he flies back home. But it's going to penalize us for the mission. The escort will stay with us. It's just that we now only get a +1 bonus instead of a +3 air-to-air bonus. That's a big deal, because this was a +5 overall bonus to our die roll. Okay, so we made it through this. Now we go and we have to advance again. So we're going to advance to here. Okay, now there's nothing on our target, but now this one and this one are going to intercept us. And then I know we don't do it until we resolve this particular battle, but then what happens is this one goes down to 2, and this goes down to 2, and this one goes down to 2, because they're not involved in this particular battle. So if you'll notice, this one is right next to us, but because they haven't refreshed yet, they're not going to be able to participate. All right, so we're over the target. These two just engaged, so we're going to draw 2 more bandits, and let's do that. All right, so I drew 2 bandits. I got the FW-190 veteran and a no bandit. Okay, first things first. We are sitting on 9 damage, and now, granted, 4 of it's theoretical damage, but still, we're sitting on 9 damage. You can see here that you can only intercept a second bandit if you have 10 or more strength. Remember, this is just like the bomber groups. There's 16 strength total to any unit or any group, including these fighter groups. And if we've taken 9 strength points of damage, 16 minus 9 is 7. So we only have 7 strength left. So this particular escort can only intercept 1 bandit. So had we drawn 2 bandits like last time, he would have only been able to intercept 1 of them, and then the other one would have gone after a bomber. We just got lucky again and did not get we drew a no bandit. But we didn't get lucky at the same time, because we ended up getting an FW-190 who still was going to fight for 3 turns. He does have the out of the sun bonus, but we cancel it. But yes, this is going to be quite the fight. And he's going to go first. So let's see what happens. He rolls a 9. He's going to hit us 3 times. So now we go up to 8 damage. And we're out of the fight. We cannot participate anymore. And we are flying home. So we don't even get to roll. We don't get to attack back. We're now at 12 total damage, which means that we can't even participate. So we finished the first round. And we are flying away. So there's no more escort. Now, by flying away, this goes away. So technically, he only has 8 damage. But that's still an awful lot of damage. I'm not trying to to downplay that. So yes, we took a metric ton of damage there. And now this guy is going to get to engage something else. So I rolled a 9. He's going to engage the 3rd bomber group. So now he's engaging the 301st bomber group, which is Holy Joe. Okay, so Holy Joe is not a fast pilot. So the FW-190 gets to attack again. We rolled a 7. The durability of these planes is a 1, so that becomes a 6. But it doesn't matter. A 6 is still 2 hits. So Holy Joe takes 2 hits. The good news is Holy Joe was undamaged prior to this, so that's not a huge deal. Now Holy Joe does get the fight back. We have +2 air-to-air with him. So let's try it. I would have needed to roll a perfect 10, by the way, because the FW-190 has 2 armor, being a veteran. Okay, so now we finished the 2nd round. We still have 1 more round to go, so Holy Joe's under attack again. I rolled a 9, so 3 more damage to Holy Joe. We're now up to 5 damage on Holy Joe, and that is not enough to shake him yet. And we need to roll a perfect 10 to hit him back. Oh, we rolled a 9. Oh, we get to add +2 to make it 11, but then he does -2. Oh my gosh, that was so close. So Holy Joe was not able to do anything. Here's what's crazy. The other 2 bombers, this one would have reduced the defense by 2 of the FW-190, and it could have done an evasion, which would have made him roll twice. This one also has the defense -2. They both have suppress. This guy has nothing. So out of the bombers, the AI picked the one that didn't have any advantage against him. So yeah, that stunk. But he does fly away. He's done. He's going to fly away. And we do survive it. And Holy Joe didn't lose any armaments. Didn't lose... He's still not even shaken, to be honest. I mean, these B-17s were pretty robust, I guess. So now we're over the target. And it's not over yet for Holy Joe. He could still take some damage. Over the target, you can see here is 2 rolls, 2 flak rolls. So I'm going to do Holy Joe first. And we'll roll right here. A 5 is a hit. Holy Joe, all these bombers have 1 durability, so we get to subtract 1 from the die roll. So this is going to be an 8, which is 1 hit, and that'll be nothing. So Holy Joe goes up to 6, which is still not shaken. He's right at the limit. But that's it for him. So now Memphis Belle is going to go. Oh, I need to quit doing that. That's going to be a miss. This is a 10, but we do get to subtract 1 to 9. Doesn't matter. That's 2 hits for Memphis Belle. And that's the first damage he's taken, so we're fine there. And then the last one, this is an 8, which becomes a 7. So that's 1 hit for Grim Reaper. That's his first damage as well. So we had fully healthy planes here, but we've taken a lot of damage in the end here, and that's going to be a big deal. Okay, so we did the flak rolls. Now we're going to do, let's bomb the crap out of him. Okay, we said that Grim Reaper has the incendiary, so the incendiary will be red, and then he has 2 other ones, so that'll be the white and blue. Okay, we're going to get +2 air to ground because we have high intel. Oh, look, -2 flak. Hold on. Hold on. The Grim Reaper had an 8, so that would have been a 6. He still would have taken a hit. Holy Joe, I think, rolled a 9, and then it became an 8. It would have been a 7-6. Holy Joe still would have been hit. Memphis Belle took 2 hits, and that's impossible, because even though I rolled a 10, it would have been subtracted by 3 to become a 7. So I'm going to take 1 damage off of Memphis Belle. I think everything else is fine. You got to pay attention to your stuff. Okay, so this one's going to be incendiary. These 2 are going to be regular. I get +2. +2 is for +4. And then Grim Reaper has another +1 for +5. Okay, that's going to be to all three. 1 plus 5 is 6, the incendiary missed. 3 plus 5 is 8, that's 1 hit. 8 plus 5 is 13, that's another hit. So 2 hits for him. Okay, so now we go to Memphis Belle. These are just going to be 3 normal bombs with a plus 5. Gotta quit doing that. 9, there's going to be 2 hits. That's 0 hits and that's 0 hits. That was poor, so poor. We're up to 4. We're not going to do this, folks. We're down to our last bomber and we're only at 4 damage. Jesus. Okay, then Holy Joe, dropping 3. This is 2 hits, that's 2 hits. It's only a plus 4 for this one, so that's a 6. So that's 4 more hits. We at least got it up to an 8. And an 8 is enough to achieve medium damage. So you can see that the 7 is the second number. If we would have done 1 more hit, we would have made it heavy damage. But so it's medium damage, so it does get reduced by 1. All right, so let's draw a card for the trip back. Reduce bandit interceptions by 1. That is awesome, because we actually might have a problem. All right, so let's start flying back. We're going to fly back to here. This goes to a 2. These goes to a 2. This goes to a 1. That goes to a 1. That goes to a 1. I guess it doesn't matter. Now we're back to base, and these would have refreshed. Had we not gone back to base, those 3 would have refreshed. But because we're at base, everything refreshes. Okay. So we made it to the end of the week, and month. The drawback here is we didn't destroy either factory, but we did reduce them. So let's do the end of the week activities first. So the first thing we're gonna, well, hold on, I gotta give experience points. What am I thinking? All right, so the Spitfire 31st, it's gonna get 1 experience point. And so he's at 3. He doesn't have enough. Next is Holy Joe. He's going to get 1 for 5. Not enough. Next is Memphis Belle. It's going to get 1. Oops, I just gave it to Paradise Lost. Memphis Belle gets 1. He just leveled up last time. He gets nothing. Okay, and then the Grim Reaper gets 1. And we're at 2, 3. We're at 4 total. He needs 6. Okay, I know that was off camera. I apologize. I was just trying to speed it up a little bit. So we're at the end of the week. We're going to advance the week marker, so we're going to basically go to, we're going to October. Okay, so I'm going to just put that there for now. And let's roll for the repair. So you can see there, the factory on the left repairs at a 6, the factory on the right repairs at an 8. Okay, so we're going to do the red die is the factory on the left, the white die is the factory on the right. So he's going to repair with a 6 or better. This one would have repaired with a 8 or better. So the one on the right will not repair. This one goes from medium down to light. The problem with going from medium to light is the supply comes back to a 2. So all of our efforts were for nothing. Okay, so that's end of the week. Now we go to end of the month. And I still have to go through the rulebook when I do this. It would be nice to have an end of the month checklist. I probably should have made one. But it's not that bad. You just gotta, there's just a lot of things happening. End of week, did that. End of month, secondary mission. Okay, we already paid the points. So that's no big deal. So what we're gonna do is, Operation Torch is considered a success. So I'm just going to put it underneath the deck like this. And then we're going to draw the next one. So the next secondary mission is an oil campaign. So we're going to draw 4 oil targets, and we have to destroy at least 7 oil VPs, okay? If we succeed at doing that, we're going to reduce the number of bandit attack turns to 1 during the next month, which would be, well, it depends on when we succeed. The medium theater modifier would be Mediterranean medium. The Mediterranean theater modifier would get a +3. That's pretty awesome. Okay, then a failure increases the number of bandit attack turns by 2. 3 maximum. And then we'd get a -2 modifier, okay? Remember, we get 2 months to do it. 7 oil VPs, so let's do that right now. We also know, I know I'm jumping ahead in the rule book here, we also know we're going to build a factory. There's always 3 factories by the Germans. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that factory card. Just bear with me because I got to make sure it's a French one. Here we go, and that one's going to have a supply of 2, just like everything else. So I'll get out the supply of 2, and I'm just going to set it aside. I don't want to put it on the board yet. And then it said draw 4 oil targets. So remember we made those decks of cards, so there's these oil target cards. They're probably already shuffled. I don't know what's even in them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is what I was talking about. A normal game is like this. So we had all those targets, right? Now we got 4 oil targets. And these oil targets aren't necessarily going to be over France. They could be all the way deep in the heart of Germany. And there you go. We have 4 oil targets. And you can see this one's a range 4. So remember how our escorts can only have a range of 2? So now we're going to have unescorted missions, basically, or we can only be escorted for 2 range. It's a big deal. And the victory points is 3, 2, 4, and 3. So we need to have 7 victory points. And here's what makes it even worse. I know you're dealing with some glare here. This has a penalty. The bandit attacks is +1, and this one has a bandit attack of +1. So we're now getting 2 extra bandits on every mission until those 2 are destroyed. That penalty is applying to every mission we go on, even if we aren't even going after oil fields. So that's something we're going to have a lot of things to deal with there. So this is what secondary missions normally look like. And yes, now you can see there's a lot more options next month. And on top of that, we still have to destroy factories. We still probably should destroy airfields and et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so secondary mission, done. Hope you enjoyed it. Where am I at here? Okay, yep, we were on secondary mission, done. Okay, so now we're going to do German defense adjustments. Yeah, okay. So we're going to roll for the Mediterranean theater here. We still get this +1 theater bonus. So let's give it a go. I rolled a 3. With the +1, that's a 4. It's not moving. It's staying right where it is. So the Mediterranean theater is still going to just consume 2 slots. Now, the Russian one has a squadron here. So that's going to reduce it by 1. So whatever I rolled a 3, and it's going to get reduced by 1 to a 2. So that means we're going to go backwards. But as you can see, we're all the way back at Stalingrad anyway, so we can't go backwards any further. So the Russians are just stalled. They're not doing very well. Now I'm just trying to check to see if the Luftwaffe squadron stays there. it says discard them after rolling. So that Luftwaffe squadron that was there is now going to get discarded. Okay, so the Russian theater, at least for now, is back to square one. Okay, but we know this. We know that there's going to be 2 for this and there's 2 for that. So that's what it's going to look like. And remember, we have to add +1 to all of our die rolls because of our German commander. But that might change too. So let's do this all in order. Yep. We're not determining if the German commander has changed yet. So, so now we're going to produce 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, I'm going to roll 3 dice. They're all identical, so it doesn't matter which one is for which. And let's figure out what theater they're going to go to. So 7, 7, 9, we had to add +1 to all of them. All 3 of these are going to the European theater. 6, 7, 5. The 5 would go to Russia. However, we add +1 because of our German commander. They're all going to the European theater. None of them are going to any of the other theaters. So that wraps that up. That was not very cool. So now let's place them. That's a 16. And let me get the camera so you can see. So a 16 is here. We now have 3 of them there. Then we have a 12, a 7, a 9, an 11, a 10, which is this one. Okay, so then see this little airstrip here? This is like the critical ones, right? 9, 13, 15, and I think there was one more. 12 is also critical. If any of them were empty, we would move, it would for sure come from Berlin because there's 3 of them here. So it would, one of those would come and fill in, but none of them are empty. So we don't have to move anything around. As you can see, the Germans are now, they're like a beehive that we just poked. These missions are going to get a little harder, but our planes are a little tougher. So, you know, that's where, so a lot of DVG games, you tend to start off not very good, but then you start to get pretty badass, and then the missions sort of get real easy. With this one, I'm not saying the missions are getting hard, but you can see the Luftwaffe response is pretty darn good. So they're amping up a little bit too. So we are going to get challenged more in that regard. Okay, so now we go to, there's no German technology. Let's see if our German commander gets replaced. He gets replaced on an 8 or more. It's written on the card. I rolled a 5. So he's staying. Next, group reassignment. We have one, the Memphis Belle, if I roll a 10, gets reassigned. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, that would have hurt. Now monthly replacement points. We get 12. So we have to replace 12 damage worth of stuff. You can see here that our fighter here has 8 damage. Very bad. This one has 6, so I'm going to replace this one for 6. Now, when you have wing groups, you have to replace them in even order. That's fine. This one is 4 for 10. And then I have 2 more that I can do. I am tempted to heal these completely, but I will go ahead and do 2 from this one. So that's now a -6 instead of a -8. Now, why did I ignore my fighter? Largely because I can go on a mission and leave a fighter behind, and then he repairs 3 points, right? If somebody doesn't go on a mission, they can repair 3 points. So by leaving the fighter behind, he can repair, and then I'm still dropping my bombs, right? But the bombers themselves, I don't want to leave them behind because then I have less bombs to drop if I'm doing that. So that's less exciting. Also, just for edification, there are no other fighters to purchase. So in 1942, you get 2 Spitfire groups, and that's it. So the bombers, we still have more bombers we can purchase. I can get up to, you know, a group of 5 and a group of 4, potentially. But I think I'm reaching a point now where I'm going to stop purchasing bombers as much as I'm going to start purchasing bombs. Because I think you're learning, I suffered in September because since I had to pay those 12 SO points to support Torch, you know, that secondary mission, if I would have been able to keep those 12 SO points and spend it on actual bombs, those 2 factories would have been destroyed. I don't think they would have survived because I would have had better bombs. So lesson learned. I mean, that's part of the challenge of the game. Now I have to destroy extra oil targets. So, you know, it's a trade-off. Okay, so let's keep going. We drew our aircraft factory cards. So now I'm going to put this back on for 2. You always draw airfield cards. That was done. And yeah, we're moving on. And by the way, it will end the moment we hit December. So November is our last month. I'm reading the rule right now. Okay, so we're going to be starting October, which is a 3-week month, and then November is our final month of the campaign. And you can see there we're going to start week 1. So we could finish this mission in October and then get another one for November. Now, the advantage to that is then we would get the modifier right away. It's not the end of the world. We can make sure we stretch this out for 2 months like we did the last one. Those are all options. The penalty, of course, is not going to happen if November ends and we fail because... now, see, this little red line is showing that secondary missions can only occur during those months. So I think there is something in the rules about what happens if November ends and you still have a secondary mission. You know what? I'm at the end of the week anyways, and we'll start the next video after this. So I will look that up in between, and stay awesome, and we'll see you.